Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Becky, and I'm a maker. Welcome to my podcast. All of you who are knitters, cross-stitchers, quilters, weavers, crocheters, what am I leaving out? Spinners. There will be a smorgasbord of those things in my podcast. I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. I've been watching a lot of you put all your New Year's resolutions for your crafts up on YouTube, and that's been really interesting. I've enjoyed seeing all your plans. I have some very loosely bound plans this year, which I will share with you probably in a video segment, and just show you pictures of the things I hope to do this year. My throat, for those of you who are new, I just had a fusion from C4 to 7. Yeah. Or maybe it's 2 to 7. They took out 3 discs. And my throat is still raw. I can't project very well. And I can't talk for long segments of time. So I decided today to change it up a little bit and put some videos in here of me crafting, more photographs, shorter segments, to give my throat a rest. And I hope you enjoy this format. I'd like to know what you thought about it. If you'd rather just listen to me talk for 30 to 40 minutes and show things, or if this was a little bit more calm and relaxing. I'm sitting here knitting. I can knit again, which I'm really, really happy about. I have no problems looking down at all now, which is just really, truly an answer to prayer. I have no problems looking up either. I'm just having some issues with my neck, but I'll talk more about that later. What I want to talk about now is to show you what I'm working on. I am working on the Suburban Wrap by Hoki Locatelli. It's on Ravelry. And I am in the second section right up here. I'm doing the stripes right here. I think the camera's trying to find me, so I don't know how to do this. Anyways, I'm using stash yarn for this, which makes it, excites me because I've got a lot of yarn that I want to use up. I don't need to buy any yarn. In fact, I have enough yarn to keep me busy for years. I'm trying to stay away from knit-alongs. That gets me in trouble. And this year I'm going to try to stay away from stitch-alongs, except for the one that I'm hosting with the Cozy Egg and the cross-stitch counselor, Rachel Stitch and Be Well. Here I am on the Suburban Wrap. It's hard to show because I'm in the middle of a row, but I've done this lace section down here. I have, I think, 4 more white stripes to go, and then I will move into an eyelet section. The other colors, I'm pretty much copying Hoki's colors. I've got this very pretty Lorna laces that I've had for a long, long time. A lilac color shepherd sock that I will put in there. So that is the knitting that I will be doing this quarter, along with some socks. I have finished these socks right here. They're dirty because I've been wearing them. They're knit with Knit Picks Felici. And I forgot the color way. But I'm working on those and some other socks that I'm working on. Don't have the pattern in here because I'm knitting off my iPad. Is a pattern by Helen Stewart. It's called, hold on, let me think about this. It's called Vintage Fairy Lights. It was actually a pattern she released a couple years ago for the New Year's Eve cast on, and that's when I cast these on. The yarn is from Sweet Sparrow Yarns, and it's called Pajama Day. I'm wearing one of my absolute favorite shawls I've ever knit. And the funny thing is, I knit this all out of little bits of scrap yarn. When I'm done with a sock, I put the scraps in jars and they're on my shelf. And this whole shawl was, for me, a way to use up scrap yarn. It's called the Marled Magic Shawl by Stephen West. I talked about it a lot on earlier videos. Let me see, that's the back. And some of you may remember, some of you may forgot, because there's a lot of videos out there. But this is called marling right here, where you knit with 2 strands of yarn, drop one, pick up another one, marl it together. This part here is some mohair. You can see a little fuzz. It was a lot of fun to knit. There's more fuzz, mohair. And I pick it up more than I pick up most of my shawls. It's huge, it's comfy, it goes with all the colors that I wear, and it's my favorite. So check it out on Ravelry. I'll put the name right here. December 30th was the 1846 Margaret Jane Leadbitter sampler. It's beautiful. I watched Heidi Crane stitch this, and when she showed it, I searched forever to find the pattern. It is out of this sampler magazine, and which is out of print. It's Sampler and Antique Needlework Winter 2011, and it's beautiful. The verse on it is, "Guard me, O God, from every sin. Let heart and tongue and life be clean. Though with 10,000 snares beset, I never would my Lord forget." I like that. It's the south view of Solomon's temple. And woe that we all could control our tongues, right? It's the hardest thing to do, and to have a clean heart. But this was my unicorn. Can you guys hear Kenzie? She is all over the place digging through stuff and exploring. This was my unicorn that I finally found, and I'm excited to be stitching it. I started it on New Year's Day. I started it on high tea. What am I saying? I did not start it on New Year's Day. I found these little, in the craft section of Joann's, I think, I found these little wooden, I don't even think they're real wood, these little wooden pine cones. And they were on clearance for 60% off, so I think they only cost like $1. I thought they make fun floss keeps or something different, you know. So I just did this and labeled the floss, and these are the colors. There's some pretty bright colors in this. Let me show you what I have so far. So as I said, I stitched on this for my high tea start, and look how big it is. It's going to be a big sampler. This is my high tea start, and I work on it every day, and I will for the next 2 weeks, and then I will work on it every Friday night this month and see what I have by the end of the month, that she will be on her way. So I'm stitching this on 32 count, which is why she's going to be so big. 32 count Belfast Fairy Dust. I had to get a whole yard because of the measurements. But that's fun. I'm stitching it with a few other people. So if you would like to join us, you can join us if you have this magazine, and if you've been wanting to stitch it ever since you got the magazine, now's the time to join us. The hashtag is Solomon's Temple Sal. Well, you've just seen some pictures of the sal that I have just started participating in. I'm doing this with 2 of the ladies in my Tudor Rose Sampler Guild, and we are doing it because Paulette Stewart, well, it's a beautiful sampler. Paulette Stewart designed this for our guild, and when I found that out, I just really wanted to do it. And when I started talking about it, a couple other ladies in the guild wanted to join me. One of them is Michelle, the Cozy Egg, and another one is Rachel, Stitch and Be Well. And this is the Crowned Bird Sampler. It was originally designed, like I said, for the Tudor Rose Sampler Guild in Dallas, Texas. Paulette has included an alphabet to stitch your own initials above the date to the left of the house. That's where you see the initials for the guild. It's stitched on 36 count vintage meadow rue using 1 strand of silk over 2 linen threads, and she's given optional DMC. I couldn't find any vintage meadow rue anywhere. And I started stitching it on a, see if I brought it, I didn't bring it, a sandy colored linen that I had, and all the red looked very pink, and I told my husband, this looks pink and I want it to be red, and he said, well, it's because of the color of the linen you're stitching on, and he was right. So let me show you the silks I have. This is one of the bags that I've made that are in the shop right now. I bought this fabric because there's a bird there, and there's a hat that I kind of imagine being a crown. And then this is the back. This is the light crowned bird bag. And this one is the dark. And it has this lining right here. I bought the silks. My mother and my daughter gave me the pattern for my birthday. And I am slowly putting the silks on one of these cards. I'm so old school, guys. This is what I used back in the 80s, and this is really how I like my floss to be, or my silk. Oh, this feels wonderful. And you see, it's not a real red. It's a pinkish red, not a burgundy or a dark red. But it does show up much better on the linen that I have, and it's just a cream linen that I ended up going with. That's all I had. And I'm excited to do that with Michelle and with Rachel. I also found from Stitching Bits and Bobs, I found these Tudor Rose scissors. You may have seen me put that on Instagram. I don't know if you can see that there are some roses on it. So if you think you'd like to join us, come join us. I think there's about 5 of us doing this now, and we would love for you to join us if you've started it or if you want to start it soon. We'll be stitching on it for a while. I think Paulette comes in September. So we're aiming to try to get as much done or almost done or finished by then, and I think we're going to try to ask Paulette to put a couple stitches in. So come join us. You can find it on Instagram under Crowned Bird Sal. I'll put it right here. Well, that beautiful roll was given to me by Liz Christopher. You may know her on the Country Stitcher podcast that she and Deb do together. It was a birthday gift for me. She was the last one to stitch on my round robin piece. So when she sent it to me, she rolled it up on this and pinned it with these heart pins. And so it was like unwrapping a package. And I love this thing. It's a great size. I'll use it a lot. Not quite sure what's in here. I think she did make a video about this, but that may be in my future. I probably should make some of these. All my stuff is so wrinkled. So here is my beautiful round robin piece finished. In the lower left is my piece. And I took that motif from my Sneak long dog sampler that I'm working on. And this one here was stitched by Pat. On Instagram, you may know her as What Do I Stitch Next? This one here was stitched by Barb. She's such a sweetheart. And this one was stitched by Liz. And if you remember, we picked out our linen and our floss, and we shipped it to the next person who took our linen and our floss and stitched their motif on it. We just went around in a circle. It took us a while because we all had life things going on. But we became really good friends through this process. And if you ever have an opportunity to do this, I would really encourage you to do this. In fact, we're missing each other, and I think we're talking about, well, I know we're talking about starting something else together. So that was the best thing. I think that was Liz and Deb. That was their intention, was for stitchers to get to know each other. And I loved doing this. I hope someday I can meet my overdyed sisters. The very last segment is to announce the giveaway. Last time I showed some of these Prairie Santas. I had the pattern for this one. I wanted to pass it on. The pattern for this one. The pattern for this one. And the pattern for this one. I asked you all to tell me which one you would like to stitch. I had a number of entries, and the winner is Christy Boggs. The vast majority of you, probably 80%, where'd the pattern go to, wanted to stitch, guess I don't have it here with me, wanted to stitch the gingerbread pattern. It was really funny because almost all of you wanted to stitch this, and I had one that wanted to stitch another one and one that wanted to stitch another one. So Christy Boggs, if you can send me an email with your address, you can do it on Instagram, or you can do it on using the email I provide below, or you can leave a comment to your name on this. I will try to contact you or leave a comment in the comments that you're the winner, and if you send me your address, I will most happily pass this pattern on to you. It's very old. I stitched it a long time ago. So thank you guys. I hope you're starting your 2019 year off well with your goals and your plans. But the thing I want to leave you with and encourage you with is what I talked about a while ago. I want you to find, to choose joy, to keep it simple, to find 3 things that you can find joy in today. You know, if you're having a really bad day and you just look around and you find 3 things that can bring you joy, whether it's the leaves on the tree or the sparkling snow or the dishwasher that's full of dishes and is running and the kitchen's finally cleaned up. If you will just jot those things down, lots of times it will turn your mood around, because we truly do have a lot to be thankful for. And I think we get caught up in all of the negative stuff. And we are very blessed. At least I know I am very blessed, and I have so many things to be thankful for. So you guys, choose joy today. I will be back with you next time. I have some finishing to do, and I will share more of the things I'm working on and maybe some of my plans too. Take care.